A federal labor board has just ordered Starbucks to reinstate some workers that they had fired during their unionization push. So this was in retaliation for them trying to form a union at Starbucks. And so let's get to this decision here from Judge Michael Rosas of the NLRB. So he ruled against Starbucks, and he ruled that way because turns out they found that Starbucks had been violating labor laws, not just a few times, but hundreds of times during the unionization campaign that happened in Buffalo, New York. So they had infringed on their workers' rights to form a union, and so in response, they must first hire them back and post a 13-page notice listing the labor violations and workers' rights in all U.S. stores. Damn. Now, the order also requires Starbucks interim CEO Howard Schultz, by the way, who had retired, then he was brought back to, guess what? The Boston unions. Because, of course, right? So now he had to either read or be present at a reading of employees' rights and distribute a recording of the reading to all Starbucks U.S. employees. That is awesome. Awesome. Roses cited Starbucks' egregious and widespread misconduct in his 200-page decision, which consolidated 35 unfair labor practice complaints at 21 Buffalo area stores filed by Starbucks Workers United, SBU, the labor union organizing Starbucks' stores. Roses found that Starbucks had threatened employees, spied on them, and more strictly enforced dress codes and other policies towards those specific workers. Oh, in addition to reinstating the 7 workers who were fired for union activity, they also must provide financial restitution for 27 other workers for violations like refusing to grant time off, and also require Starbucks to bargain with the union at multiple stores and reopen a location in Cheektowaga, New York, that was closed due to union activity. So they had closed the store in retaliation. Now, of course, Starbucks is not happy with this. Again, considering how Howard Schultz is massively, massively anti-union. He is a union buster. Again, that was the reason that he was brought back. They plan on fighting this. But before we get to that, and again, they're going to try to appeal this decision, let me just point out that the Biden NLRB is actually doing great work. I don't give a ton of praise to the Biden administration, but some of these picks, especially the NLRB, good stuff. They're doing some very good things. Now, union supporters were elated with the ruling, saying that it's going to help their campaign. In fact, Michelle Eisen, a Starbucks barista and union organizer in Buffalo, said this, quote, "This decision results from months of tireless organizing by workers in cafes across the country demanding better working conditions in the face of historical, monumental, and now deemed illegal union busting." Eisen's store had voted to unionize in late 2021, which was the first Starbucks in decades to take that step. Now, here's the thing, though. They have a lot of work to do. And I love that they're doing this. I love that the victories that they are having. And so far, they have unionized or have voted to unionize 289 of Starbucks, stores out of 9,000. So look, this is a good first start, and this is a great ruling by the NLRB, and hopefully this will spur more of these stores to begin to push to unionize. Because look, we don't have a lot of power, and I'm talking we as in workers, okay? Regular working people, the only power that we have is labor. We don't really have political power. We don't have politicians that represent us, because most of the politicians, I would say about 99% of them, there's only a handful of, politicians that do not represent corporations, don't take corporate donations. They don't have enough power to really fight for us in this system that is just filled with legalized bribery in the form of campaign contributions to political campaigns. The only power that we have really is workers. We can't depend, as much as I love Bernie Sanders, we can't sit for him and wait for him to be a savior. Yeah, he's fighting the good fight, and he's, in Congress, he's gone out and he's speaking out and he's backing unions, he's going on the picket lines, and that's wonderful, giving speeches. But that's, at this point, the only extent, that's the extent of what he can do. It's really up to us. It's really up to us as labor to go out and to form unions, to collectively bargain, to band together with our fellow employees and stand up for our own rights in the workplace. And through that, we will gain political power. And the media, of course, will like to ignore it until it gets to a point where they essentially can't. And that's what had happened with the Starbucks union push, which has gotten a lot of attention in the media. And again, it is partly thanks to those politicians that actually have come out and spoke in favor. But that's only, what they did is they get out the message, but the real work is being done by these organizers. And I commend them for it, and I congratulate them on this victory, being reinstated, and more importantly, showing the power that labor can have to change the conversation. And I hope they continue to do fantastic work. Again, the Starbucks Workers United, and, as well as More Perfect Union that covers all of these labor disputes, labor fights, unionization drives. Commend them all. You're doing a fantastic job. Let's keep going, and let's keep fighting for workers' rights.